Good morning and welcome to UTech Live. My name is Miro Humer. I'm the Associate Vice President of Client Experience here at UTech. This forum is an opportunity for us to share some of the technology projects that are going on across campus that may impact you. As we move through these implementations, we are focusing on service excellence that is both creative, innovative, positive, and collaborative. So today we have a group of technology experts to explain some of these projects and services across campus. So I'd like to turn it over to John Landers, our Assistant Director of Service Delivery.
Thank you, Miro. So thank you everyone for joining us here today and as well as on the live stream. So as Miro said, UTech Live is an event we'll try to do every 2 months to highlight various things and projects UTech is delivering, really focusing on our strategic plan and the value that we bring to the university. And it's an effort to try to be transparent and share our message with the students, faculty, and staff on campus. We'll rotate in different panelists and different topics at each event. This event will definitely have some questions focused around the back to school experience in August. So we'll introduce each of our panelists shortly, and then we have a short set of questions that will allow each of them to answer as we go through, and then we'll have some time at the end for questions from both the audience here in Twing as well as the audience from the live stream. So I'll pass it on to Mike Thomas and the rest of the panel to introduce themselves, to introduce their role and a little bit about what they do.
Hey everybody, it's a pleasure to be here today. I'm Mike Thomas and I'm from Media Vision. Our services originate out of the Cedar Avenue Service Center and range from everything from our AV and event support on through our video production team.
My name is Martin Hines. I'm the Enterprise Systems Lead over here in UTech. My team, we handle a lot of the infrastructure pieces that also are located within the data centers. So we handle the storage, the backup, the virtualization platform, and pieces like that.
I'm Erin Fogarty from the Information Security Office, work with a great staff and happy to be here to represent security.
I'm Genevieve Mathieson-Kilmer. I'm here from Teaching and Learning Technologies. I'm a teaching and learning designer technologist, and our team is responsible for academic technology support, including Canvas.
Hi, my name is Mike Warf. I'm from Research Computing and Cyber Infrastructure. My role is to work with our team that delivers high-performance computing, the secure research environment, mass storage for researchers, as well as our research archive service.
Great. Thank you to all of our panelists for being here today and being part of this event. This first question that we'll ask will go to all of the panelists on the panel, and it talks about what does your area of UTech consistently focus on to help positively serve the university? So I'll pass it off to Mike first.
Okay. Well, like I said, Media Vision primarily focuses on 3 different service aspects of the university. And the first of which is our audiovisual and or event support, depending on how you look at it. And that service primarily offers support to events like this, guest lectures, student events, all the way up through our annual commencement, Blue Block, Momentum, as well as our fall convocation. The second area of service would be our classroom support area, and that team offers operational support to our technology-enhanced classrooms as well as our active learning spaces. And then last but not least is our video production team, and they're based again out of the Cedar Avenue Service Center, and they're producing video and other materials that not only document things here at the university, but also help tell the stories of the university to the rest of the world.
Thank you, Mike. Martin?
So like I said, my team, we pretty much deal in the infrastructure. So for our piece, the infrastructure is like the foundation of all the services on campus. So that's all the underlying pieces, like when you're building a house. You got to start with the foundation first. So that's most of what we've been focusing on. So that'll be like the servers, the storage platform, file shares, anything that you need to get your applications going and have your services running. We kind of help support that piece.
The Information Security Office's initiative focuses mostly on confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So we take a look at the entire campus and try to move towards a proactive stance instead of a reactive stance so that We try to look at physical, administrative, technical controls throughout the campus. Where is our most sensitive data? What do our users really need to know to protect themselves and their data? Get the message out there, consult with as many as we can, and try to assure that our very valuable information gems throughout the campus are adequately protected.
Teaching and Learning directly works pretty closely with faculty and students here at the institution, in addition to supporting and managing a wide range of academic technologies, which include the learning management system. Currently, we are transitioning out of Blackboard, and we support Canvas as our primary LMS. We also support Adobe Connect, we support Zoom, we support Media Vision courseware, and we provide pedagogical input on how to use these technologies. We also work with faculty to collaborate on innovative teaching and learning projects, including active learning and things that use the HoloLens. And we also help position UTech to support the technology of our needs of our next generation students.
So we all know that technology can be daunting at times, especially when it comes to research computing, dealing with compute clusters, storage, network, and just getting data from point A to point B. So we spend a lot of time with user experience, improving customers when they make use of these technologies. And we do a lot of workshops, training, being able to go to their office, help consult around, what do they want to do, where do they want to use these technologies, and really try to provide support that's, very consistent to the mission goals of the university.
Great. Thank you all for taking the time to answer this question. We all know that the summer goes by very quickly, and then in July we have the start of the medical and some of the professional school curriculum, and it kind of leads very quickly into August and the return of undergraduate students, as well as freshman orientation, as well as new faculty and staff coming to campus. So the next question we wanted to ask a subset of our panelists, and I'll start with Genevieve this time, is can you talk a little bit about what area you did to, or what your area did to help prepare for and make sure that we're ready for back to school? And then at the end, a little bit with my role from service delivery, we'll talk about how we kind of prepared from a support perspective as well.
Absolutely, John. So we actually focused primarily on Canvas. As the university knows, we made the transition from Blackboard to Canvas in time for the start of this academic year. So our team was predominantly working with Canvas. So we provided training to our faculty and students. We provided workshops for different departments. We worked with students at various student-facing events, including welcome back days, to make sure that they were aware that their classes would be in a new LMS. We provided a lot of documentation and a lot of one-on-one support. So we were meeting with faculty and staff who used the LMS in consultations, in drop-in sessions. We had lots of open workshop opportunities, as well as very targeted workshop opportunities for different faculty, so that we could really meet their needs as we rolled into this academic year. In addition to all of these different forms of outreach and training, we also have been working with some of the graduate programs to pilot Zoom as an academic web conferencing tool. It's available now. And so we're exploring how that's going to work for different programs. We've also worked to identify a new plagiarism detection system, and so Turnitin is now available. It replaces the functionality that existed previously in Blackboard. And Teaching and Learning Technologies pulled together a committee of staff and faculty to help identify what options existed, evaluate those options, and then select the best product for our needs as an institution. So we made that available in time for back to school and provided training, and are continuing to provide training for that. And we also collaborate closely with Media Vision, and I'm sure that they'll get to talk too, but Media Vision to actually support Media Vision courseware. So our team coordinates with faculty to schedule class recordings and help them manage that system.
And I think if we looked at kind of the number of courses that were in Blackboard compared to the number in Canvas, it really shows some positive adoption for Canvas. Could you maybe talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have seen an increase in the number of classes that are using the LMS this fall as compared to last fall. We are up approximately 10% over last fall. We have more than 1,500 classes using the LMS. And by classes, I mean sections that are listed in the student information system. So we're up several hundred classes over where we were last fall using Blackboard. So we think that's actually a really positive indicator of success, because faculty were willing to actually make the change, and not just willing, but in a lot of cases very enthusiastic.
Thank you, Genevieve. I'll ask the same question to Mike Thomas from our Media Vision team.
Yeah, and to really back up what Genevieve's talking about, what summer? You know, at the university here, and a lot of family and friends will come to me and say, well, you work at a university, you must have the summers off. Well, I'll be honest, for Media Vision, some of the busiest stuff goes on in the summer. Our back-to-school prep starts the day after spring classes end. Construction projects, whether they're fresh construction, whether they're improvements, whether they're repairs, that stuff has to get done when pretty much these classrooms aren't in use. There's really no time to wait on that. About 2 weeks before classes begin is when things start getting active from the support side. Our technicians start walking through all of our hundreds of technology-enhanced classrooms and active learning spaces, looking for oddities or things that might not be working, to try to minimize day one incidents. And we really work with the service desk to go over the previous year's incidents and tickets and look for themes of things that are things we could probably get rid of to start on day one. So really, yeah, the summer is a tremendously busy time. We then move into more of an operational mode once the first day of classes start, but the harder we prep in the summer, the smoother the start is.
I also wanted to let Erin highlight, obviously with new students coming to campus, trying to keep their information safe and keep them aware of just all the activities that may go on from an information security perspective. I know the information security team put a lot of time in the summer to make sure new students were prepared.
We did. We started with the first priority, which is pizza. And thought, everybody in their orientation package should have a note about pizza to put on their front door. And conveniently, on the back, there are some really good hints about keeping yourself safe. Some of them are change passwords, stay web aware, be careful of what you're doing on the web. And to elaborate a little bit on that, think about lock before you walk. When you've got your computer open in a place where you might have private information, you're going to step away from your desk, lock before you walk. Lock your rooms, lock your computers before you walk out of your dorms. Think about passphrases instead of passwords. And if you're going to change the passwords often or change the passphrases often. Some of these hints are on here, and we also encourage students to go to our website, securityaware.case.edu, where we put some of the latest stories about what's going on in the cybersecurity world, and in addition to some training topics, things to think about, and never forget to call for help. Help@case.edu is your best friend. If you receive a funny-looking email and you think, this looks like a really good job offer, think again. Think before you click. Send the email to case at help@case.edu, and we'd really rather get 100 questions than have any student put some identification information out there that just wasn't worth losing.
And really, from a UTech service desk perspective, we prepare for some additional volume. We usually see during orientation week and the several weeks after a spike in emails and calls. So we make sure we're ready there, as well as having a presence at move-in to make sure that, especially for incoming freshmen who are moving into dorms for the first time, that they connect to things like wireless and connect to the network and have the tools and the information that they need. And from a project perspective, the team that handles kind of cable television, we implemented some new streaming options for cable TV, as well as implementing HBO Go and Max Go, which will allow our students to watch Game of Thrones, which we know they wanted to. So, as we move on to the next question, obviously centralization has been something UTech has focused on over the last year or two. So we wanted to ask a couple of you to highlight some of the progress we made in centralization over the summer. And I'll start with Martin on that, if you could maybe elaborate what the cloud services team has highlighted and focused on.
Sure. So my team, we've been heavily involved in the centralization process from the beginning. The biggest part that we were mostly involved in was finding what we call SUDs, which are the servers under the desks. So we worked a lot with different areas across campus, including information security, to try to locate all these servers, which has been an extremely daunting task. So we found roughly, I think, a little bit over 800 servers and counting. We took the time to inventory all of those, try to figure out where they were located, and kind of try to put together a plan of how we can get those servers moved into a more secure place like the data center. So one thing we did, we took that inventory, kind of split it up into like an admin piece and figured out what of those servers were mostly for the researchers. And from that, we were able to move around 400 plus servers so far. Those are all on the admin side. And we were actually able to decommission over 200 of those servers, which was great. It helped with security. I know you guys are happy about that. So the next piece we're going to be working on going forward is more focusing on the research side. So from there, it's about roughly around 250 servers. Mike Warf has been helping us with identifying those as well and kind of making some connections for us of who we need to talk to. So that we know it's going to take a little bit longer than the admin side did because we want to make, have at least a minimal impact on the research work that's going on along across the campus. So that's pretty much where we're at right now. So got more work to do.
Great. Thank you, Martin. And sure.
To that, it's working out really well moving the servers into one particular area. And for those SUDs that he was talking about, we really are concerned about the risk that SUDs represent, servers under desks, because what happens when a WannaCry comes down the road again, and we don't know that that SUD exists, we can't help you, that data is gone, that data has been hit with ransomware. We are here to advocate and do as much as we can for you, the researcher, the user, the faculty member. So let us help you in any way we can. Give us a call. Martin's got a great team to move the servers into KSL to secure them, and it's been, great to be BFFs with his group.
Well, thank you, Martin. That's a great story we wanted to highlight, and it definitely ties into not only our strategic plan, but really one of the goals of centralization was, reducing the risk profile of the university, and centralizing those servers has been a big part of that. So that's the same question kind of about centralization progress to Genevieve to really talk about it from the teaching and learning perspective.
We've actually had the opportunity to engage in several centralization projects, but I think our big one over the actually much of the last academic year was working with the School of Medicine to help them transition into Canvas, because they have a homegrown learning management system that they've been using for years. And so our team in teaching and learning, and John, worked with our UTech colleagues in the School of Medicine and the Office of Curricular Affairs in the School of Medicine to move this academic year into Canvas. So we've come up with creative solutions to problems that arose just because they had this homegrown system. We've come up with ways to customize the functionality that exists in the LMS so that it can meet their needs. And it's really helped, I think, unify both these teams. We have some amazing work coming out of this project. They've come up with some really interesting workarounds and solutions to things that other institutions are experiencing, and we think we'll be able to actually probably share that and be collegial more broadly. But we've also had the opportunity to work with the engineering school in MSAS in rolling out an assessment system called LiveText, which I forgot to mention earlier. And we've also been working to help evaluate introduction of more active learning classrooms across the institution. And we've been working with Mike's team and other branches of UTech to do that. So it's been a lot of centralization for teaching and learning technologies this summer.
And I think it's really helped strengthen relationships not only with UTech teams across the entire campus, but also in some academic areas in the schools, especially like in the Office of Curricular Affairs within the med school. Okay, thank you all. Next question kind of builds off of the relationships topic a little bit, and we'll ask Mike Warf and Erin this question, and I'll start with Mike. Can you talk a little bit about how you've built relationships with faculty and researchers on campus? Because I think that's really part of the key in a lot of our roles is the relationships and connections we have on campus really help us keep forward momentum going for projects.
So put simply, it's time and the willingness to go out to faculty labs, to faculty offices, and really talk about what their needs are, as well as being, available and not, immediately saying, no, this isn't a technology that we have on campus today, or no, this isn't, a policy or rule that's in place. We really need to take a step back and kind of, instead of saying no, say kind of, whoa, I mean, this is something amazing that you're doing in your lab. This is something that can, actually change, what we're doing, here at the university or even in the world. So we really need to focus on what their end goal is and then build solutions that kind of enable them to move forward.
Great. That's great, Mike. Erin, could I ask you the same question?
Data in the research environment is becoming larger. We've got gigantic data sets that need to be analyzed and accessed, controlled, and therefore supported. We have affiliations with other universities and social service agencies throughout the state and throughout the country. And in many of those cases, there are contracts or data use agreements or tech transfer agreements that have to be addressed. And we've got these great researchers who want to do the work. So we request and seek them out to say, hey, let us help you protect that data. We have some controls. We have some tools to help you. Mike and I, the RCCI department and security work together very closely to figure out what is the project you want to do, what is the affiliation, what are the security requirements, and let's figure out how to address them so that we work very hard to be advocates of appropriate levels of security, as well as letting all of the faculty do their work instead of focusing on the demands that might come from security controls.
Is there maybe one kind of relationship or connection that either of you two wanted to highlight? I know we've done a lot of great work in the SRE with some areas and in the pre-on area, which does some, could you maybe just dig a little deeper and kind of talk about the status of one of those relationships and the work we've done?
Sure, that we've got the secure research environment, and it's about 2 years old, and it's on the cutting edge of having a great location to put fully identifiable research data. And the faculty are very happy, our affiliate hospitals are very happy because we can say this is HIPAA and FSMA compliant. So any thoughts or concerns you might have about data security, handling, transferring, monitoring, auditing, we've got it in the secure research environment. And in that environment, we have several tenants. One of them is the Institute for Computational Biology, and another one is PREON, a CDC supported project that involves Jacobs-Creutzfeldt disease. And in both of those cases, they have highly sensitive data, and we have very close relationships with them in terms of getting their data in there, monitoring the data, and ensuring that they can actually do all of the research that they need to do without, again, having to worry about security.
Yeah, really the genesis of that project was a need that they had, and they came to us and said, well, specifically, School of Medicine Research Administration Office came to us and said, we have these grants and contracts that we need to fulfill the security, but at the same time, we also need to enable them to do what they need to do in the lab. So we really worked with them over the period of 2 years to kind of figure out what their needs were from the contractual standpoint that Erin was addressing, and then as well as how do we enable them to do more than just meet those contractual needs that are normally around security. They really needed to build an end-to-end system where they were tracking samples and we're doing particular research projects on them, but at the same time, we're also facilitating a service for the CDC. So we've been able to really work with them in a multi-phased approach to be able to solve what the security needs were first through the secure research environment, and then start bringing in technologies that would enable them to, for example, have a lab management system, and then later on a billing system to be able to do the things that they're needed to facilitate the CDC contract.
Great.
Sorry. The attraction or the partnership mostly originated with School of Medicine. We're seeing that now that this benefit of the secure research environment exists, MSAS, School of Nursing, and School of Engineering are also benefiting because as we assess and do risk assessments throughout the campus and find highly sensitive data, we say, hey, we've got this secure research environment. And the researchers are saying, well, then that's great because then I can dig deeper into my research by getting highly identifiable data and not be nervous about it. So it's really great to see that benefit leak across campus, if you will.
No, it's a great story to share, so thank you, Erin, and thank you, Mike. So the last question from me, we'll see what the audience has in a little bit, is what helpful information or advice could you share for faculty, staff, and students from a technology perspective? So I guess I'll start with Mr. Thomas.
Why not? Okay, so I thought about this one, and I think from the media vision standpoint, my response would be, if you are in one of our classrooms, our active learning spaces, our technology-enhanced classrooms, you're having trouble, you have a question, please call the UTech service desk at 368-HELP, because our technicians are radio dispatched and can be to you in a matter of minutes anywhere on campus. And that is the absolute most effective way to deal with an issue and mitigate it before it becomes a disruption for a class or an event.
That's great. Martin?
For me, it's not really a technology thing. I mean, these two kind of touched on it. For me, it's focus on your relationships. You know, whether it's faculty, staff, or students, you know, sometimes you got to get up from your desk, get out of your office, walk around campus, meet some people. I mean, I've found from doing that, I've been surprised at how things have been moved forward so much quicker by just, you know, seeing someone in passing, you know, say hi to them, because you never know when you actually may end up working with that person on a project. And because you had those small conversations, things go so much smoother around here.
Great. That's a great piece. Erin?
There's always change your password. Think very seriously about a passphrase. And some of the trainings that I do across campus, I'll say, you know, pick a passphrase. I hate chocolate. Because it's harder to do a brute force attack. If somebody's trying to do a brute force attack and you've used a long passphrase, while it may be a difficult or a pain for you, on the other hand, the brute force says, I'm going to go somewhere else. These are not the droids I was looking for. So the longer the password, the passphrase, the better. If not, if you're going to have a password, change it often. If you get a funny looking email, read the grammar. If the grammar or the sentence structure looks funny, send it to help@case.edu. If you're getting emails about really great job offers for students, think before you click or send it to the help desk. They love to see an increase in tickets. And so do we. Update and patch all of your systems. We want to avoid any kind of WannaCry or any kind of compromise. But if you suspect you have a compromise, again, call us at 368-HELP. Okay. And I can go on and on, but I'll stop.
Thank you, Erin. Genevieve?
I think I'm going to kind of say something similar to everyone else, which is basically if you're trying to do something creative, innovative, or just you're not sure how to proceed with technology, academic technology, or any technology here at the institution, you contact us. We would be happy to work with you. Mike and Erin were talking about the partnerships they've established with researchers. Those wouldn't be possible without outreach either from UTech or from the researchers. We work with faculty a lot in teaching and learning technology, and sometimes they reach out to us, sometimes we find out about it through the grapevine. But if you are curious or you have something you want help with, do reach out to us because we want to work with you. We want to help evolve the university. And I will say what everyone else said was, if you actually need help, contact help@case.edu or call the help desk. They are great. We work with them a lot. We are talking to agents at the help desk a lot to sort of deal with more complex issues, and they're fantastic.
So I'll quickly, because I share the sentiments of everyone, put a shout out actually for the Care Center downstairs in KSL. If you guys don't want to call the help desk, there's someone that you can go to and have a face-to-face conversation. You can bring your laptop and have them look at an application that you're having an issue with, or if you need the laptop or server, I'm not server, sorry, that's in my space, workstation repaired on, they can do it for you.
Thank you, Mike. And especially during the academic year, I know they have hours into the evening that are published on their site. So please check that out if you ever need to take advantage of that service. So those are all the questions we kind of had for the panel today. I do not know if we have any questions from our live stream audience or from our audience here in Twing. So I guess we'll kind of take a quick pause to see if we have any questions. Okay, doesn't appear that we have any questions at the moment, so we'll kind of work towards closing this out. So before I kind of close it out, I'll just kind of allow each panelist to say a quick goodbye real quick, and any last things to add?
No, I think the thing here is this is great forum. Thank you for everyone that's online and in the audience, and just remember that UTech is here to serve, and there's really no question that's a dumb one, so please ask away.
Like Mike said, thank everyone for coming out. If you got questions, dial 368-HELP or contact help@case.edu.
I echo the sentiment. I also want to add, check out securityaware.case.edu for anything that you would want to learn. In addition, take a look at our UTech strategic plan. It's a fascinating outline of what we've verbally discussed. You can see we're going step by step through that plan. And thank you for being here.
Thank you all for coming today. And yes, I mean, if you have any questions or have anything that you want to reach out to us about, we'd love to hear from you. Part of what makes this work so exciting is being here at a teaching and research institution. So we really enjoy being in this environment, and we want to engage with it more.
And I'll just say thank you and see you guys.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us today. You know, as we highlighted at the start of this really ties into the delivery of our strategic plan, which is to help, you know, support teaching and learning on this institution, as well as research and really this entire campus. So we highlighted some stories and some relationships that we built today from our panelists, and we look forward to having more to share in the future. I think October-ish is probably when the next one will be, and keep an eye out for email or table tents that highlight when and where this will be. We'll probably switch out some of the panelists, and I believe this video will also be available online later after the fact if folks wanted to watch it. So, and really it's about delivering our strategic plan, being open to feedback and being transparent to the university, and really trying to strive for service excellence. So thank you everyone for joining, and thank you for being part of UTech Live.